Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for this week's NFL playoff games for the divisional round. So we have the second round of the playoffs. We got our traditional slate where we have 2 games on Saturday and then 2 games on Sunday. I'm going to do just like I did last week and do separate videos for each day. So this video obviously will be for the 2 games on Saturday. We're going to give out 2 props, one that I like from each game, and then I will have a separate video that'll probably get posted sometime later Saturday night. Probably like during halftime of the Commanders Lions game. I'll post my video for Sunday's games, and you can take a look at that and see props I like for the 2 games on Sunday. But for this video, we're gonna break down 2 props I like for the Saturday games. Talk about a prop I like in the Texans Chiefs game, and then a prop I like in the Commanders and Lions game. Had a really good playoff start, I should say. We went 5-1 on the, or I think no 6-1 on the plays we gave out for the, or no 5-1, or no 6-1. We went 6-1 on the 7 picks that we gave out for the wild card round. 2-0 on the 2 picks for the 2 games on Saturday. 3-0 on the 3 picks we gave out for the 3 games on Sunday, and then we gave out 2 plays for the Monday night game. Went 1-1 on those 2. But hopefully you guys tailed with us during the wild card round and made some money. Let's see if we can keep it going here for the divisional round. So before we talk through these plays, guys, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they help you out, make sure to hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel and if you are new to Prizepicks, be sure to sign up for Prizepicks. Use that promo code NOAH when you do. When you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and place your first lineup, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So make sure to check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. And also, I do want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper because we do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. If you guys are not signed up for Sleeper yet, sign up, use code NOAH, take advantage of their new user offer. Play $5, get $55. This is a cool promo that Sleeper is doing. You play $5, you play your first $5 lineup, and then you get $55 worth of free lineups that you can then use to play, try and build a bankroll up off of, make some money off of. And the cool thing about this promo is it's a promo that doesn't entice you to have to deposit a lot of money, because you can still deposit the minimum and get $55 worth of free lineups. So if you have ever wanted to give a Sleeper a try, I recommend doing so you can get those $55 worth of free lineups, and you get access to that when you sign up and use code NOAH. So make sure to check out Sleeper if you guys have not yet. But yeah, guys, we got 2 games on Saturday, Chiefs, Texans. We're going to talk about a prop first that I like in that game, and then we'll break down a prop from the Commanders and Lions game. So in the Chiefs and Texans game, I got a fantasy score prop that I'm liking in this game, and we're going to take DeAndre Hopkins for more than 7 fantasy scores. So DeAndre Hopkins has had a pretty good role with the Chiefs. He's played, I believe, 10 games total with the Chiefs now. He's gone over this fantasy score line in 7 out of the 10 games he's played with Kansas City. And if you look at Hopkins' volume in those games, like, he's been getting a decent amount of targets. Now, he did play 8 of those games without Hollywood Brown. So Hollywood Brown, he's been out for a large majority of the season, but he did return and has played the last 2 games for Kansas City, not counting their last game of the season where they rested everybody. So the last 2 games have been with Hollywood Brown, and you can see he did go under this fantasy score line against Pittsburgh. That was with Hollywood Brown in, but Hopkins did still get 4 targets in that game. He's had at least 3 targets in every game he's played in with Kansas City, and he's had at least 5 targets in 6 out of 10 games. He's had at least 5 targets. So he's been able to earn targets at a pretty high rate. Now, this Kansas City offense, they do have a lot of guys that they can throw the ball to. They have Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy. They've got, obviously, Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins. They still have Juju, who they can play some. They still have Justin Watson. They're getting their running backs back as well. Isaiah Pacheco's starting to get healthy again. This Kansas City team, though, they've been really, really pass-heavy lately, and you can just look at Patrick Mahomes' pass attempts line. He's got the highest pass attempts line of any quarterback on this slate. His pass attempts line is all the way up at 37, and that's with Kansas City being big favorites in this game. I think Kansas City's favored by 9 points at home. The books are still expecting Kansas City to be throwing the ball a lot here, given Mahomes has a 37 pass attempts line. As you can see, he's been going over that a lot lately. He's had at least 38 pass attempts in 4 of his last 5 games. He's had 1 game with over 40, or 2 games with over 40 attempts. So Kansas City has kind of gotten back to being that really pass-heavy offense, and it makes sense for them to be pass-heavy because they have so many weapons. Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, Kelsey, Worthy. And I think with it being the playoffs, I think we will see Kansas City focus more on their key guys. Like, I don't know how much Juju Smith-Schuster is really going to play in the playoffs. I don't know how much Justin Watson's really going to play in the playoffs. Those guys have been playing some lately. We could definitely see them just run a 3 wide receiver set of Worthy, Hollywood Brown, and Hopkins. And if that's the case, if Hopkins is going to be able to play more snaps, which I already think he's going to be able to do, Hopkins has kind of been limited with his snaps since he's been with Kansas City. But now they've had so much time off because Hopkins rested the Week 18 game, and then they had a first-round bye. Like, these guys have had a ton of rest. They should be fully healthy coming into this game. Hopkins is definitely an older player, so rest is probably good for him. But when he's been healthy, and he's played well. He's still a guy that can perform when he gets opportunity. Obviously, he's got a great quarterback. He's got a great offense. They're in, Kansas City's in a spot at home where they're expected to put up a lot of points. I think they have like a 25 team total, so they're expected to score, close to 4 touchdowns here. I think if we see Mahomes have another good game passing, and if he continues to throw the ball like 40 times, which he's been doing lately, very good chance we're going to see DeAndre Hopkins get 7 fantasy points. Hopkins is a guy that can rack up receptions. I know his receptions prop is only 3, which I also like the over on 3 receptions for Hopkins. But Hopkins has had games with Kansas City where he's gotten a bunch of receptions. He had an 8 reception game, a 5 reception game, another 5 reception game, and those are huge because with Prizepicks fantasy score, you do get a point per reception. So if Hopkins can catch like 4 or 5 balls here, it's pretty likely to go over 7 fantasy points. Maybe he only catches like 2 passes, but what if one of those is a touchdown? Obviously that would put him over this fantasy score line. So there's a lot of ways that we can get 7 fantasy points from DeAndre Hopkins here. I know playing with Hollywood Brown now, there's obviously more mouths to feed in this Kansas City offense, but with how pass heavy Kansas City has been lately, I still think we're going to see plenty of opportunity for DeAndre Hopkins. Also would not be surprised if you see DeAndre Hopkins play more snaps here since he's had a lot of time off. He's been able to rest. You look at his snap share with Kansas City this season, he's only been playing about 50% of the snaps, but I think that number could definitely rise here, in the playoffs where obviously these are the most meaningful games of the season. So I do like that as our first prop for tonight, or for Saturday, I should say. DeAndre Hopkins, we're going to take him for more than 7 fantasy score. And then the other prop that I like in the other game, Lions and Commanders, we're going to look at a receptions prop on Terry McLaurin. And I like Terry McLaurin for more than 5.5 receptions. So Terry McLaurin had a big game to start off the postseason. I think it's his first ever playoff game, I'm pretty sure, for Terry McLaurin. I don't think he's ever been in the playoffs. I might be wrong there. But he had 7 receptions last game against Tampa Bay. Had, I believe, like 70-something yards. 89 yards, had a touchdown. Look, Terry McLaurin, he's the clear number 1 wide receiver in this Commanders offense. He is, Jaden Daniels' clear top target. And Terry McLaurin doesn't really have a lot of competition for targets in this Commanders offense. Like, Olamide Zaccheaus has never been a high-volume receiver. He's never been a guy that's been able to earn a lot of targets. Last week, he only had 3 targets. Diami Brown did have a really big game last week, but he did that on only 5 targets, so it wasn't like he saw a ton of volume. And then there are other receivers like Jamison Crowder. They don't really throw the ball too much at all. KJ Osborne, he was inactive last week, and they really don't involve many other receivers. Noah Brown, he's injured right now. And then you look at the tight end position. Sure, they have Zach Ertz, but Zach Ertz is another guy that's just never been a high-volume tight end. Like last week, he only had 4 targets. Now, sure, they can throw the ball to the running backs. They can throw it to Austin Eckler. Brian Robinson, typically never been much of a pass-catching running back, though. And this is also a spot where I think we're just going to see Washington throw the ball a lot because they've had no success running the ball lately. Brian Robinson has been terrible from an efficiency standpoint. He's averaged I want to say 3 yards per carry, maybe even less than that in some of his his recent games. Also, this Detroit team has been really good against the run this season. The way you beat Detroit is by throwing the football. You look at what Detroit's given up to wide receivers and to quarterbacks. They're giving up a lot of yards, a lot of receptions to wide receivers. They're actually giving up the most receiving yards, second most receptions to wide receivers. But then if you look at what they've allowed to running backs, they're giving up nothing to running backs. Second fewest rush yards this season. Detroit's just a team you kind of have to beat through the air. And Washington's coming into this game as road underdogs. I think they're 9.5 point underdogs here. This is a spot where we're probably going to see Jaden Daniels throwing the ball 30 plus times, if not 35 times. I think Jaden Daniels' pass attempts line is set at 34.5 for Saturday, which is Yeah, 34.5. That's third highest on the divisional round slate, just behind C.J. Stroud, who's got a 35 pass attempt line. If we're going to get anywhere near 35 pass attempts from Jaden Daniels, I think we're very likely to see probably 8 or 9 targets for Terry McLaurin, which should lead to 6 receptions. I was also looking at McLaurin's targets prop, which is at 8.5, and I kind of like the over on 8.5 targets as well. But McLaurin's done a pretty good job of racking in his targets lately. Like, you look, he's gone over his receptions prop in 3 of his last 5 games, where he's still gone over his targets prop in 3 of his last 5 games as well. But like, you look at the Philly game, he had 6 targets. There was one game I thought, or I guess he went under that game as well. But there's been some games recently where he's been able to get 6 receptions on less than 9 targets. But really, both these props I like on McLaurin, more than 5.5 receptions, more than 8.5 targets. Look, the way you beat Detroit's through the air, McLaurin's been a high-volume receiver this season, racking up a ton of receptions as well. He's also a big play guy, so like you could look at his receiving yards too. Really, I just think we're in for a big game here for Terry McLaurin. He's just going to get a ton of volume. This game's also going to be played in a dome. No weather concerns or anything like that. This game has a lot of shootout potential. It has by far the highest total on the slate, 55.5 total in this Commanders-Lions game. Really good spot here for Terry McLaurin. Like him for more than 5.5 receptions. So these are the 2 props, guys, that we're going to roll with for Saturday's divisional round playoff games. Kansas City, Houston, we're taking DeAndre Hopkins more than 7 fantasy score. And Washington, Detroit, we're taking Terry McLaurin for more than 5.5 receptions. Of course, I'll have a video for the Sunday games as well. Be on the lookout for that. I think I'm going to plan on posting that video during halftime of the Commanders-Lions game. So late Saturday night, be on the lookout for that video. Posting props, sharing some props I like for the 2 games on Sunday. But as always, guys, appreciate you watching these Prizepicks videos. Make sure to hit that like button down below if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel and if you are new to Prizepicks, go sign up for Prizepicks. Use that promo code NOAH when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and place your first lineup. You'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So be sure to check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. But good luck as always, guys. Thanks for watching the videos and supporting the content, supporting the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.